Mornings first with Coach Mangini. We're talking Daniel Jones. The 6th overall pick made his preseason debut last night. And at least for a night, Jones put his doubters on notice, going a perfect 5 of 5 for 67 yards, including a 12-yard touchdown pass to Benny Fowler. But head coach Pat Shurmur says, hold on. Those wanting Jones to start are going to need to just relax a little bit.
I think slow your roll. I mean, this is just his first go-around, you know, and I think he did a good job. As I mentioned all along, he's done nothing to disappoint us, and certainly when you take the team down the field and score a touchdown, it's a good start. Something good to build on. And we got a lot of time left before we start playing games, and nothing at this point has changed.
Trying to do my job, and with everyone else doing their job, it works. We score points. So I don't know how that's seen outside of the locker room, but it felt good to know.
Coach, you like what you saw from Daniel Jones last night?
The whole early part of the game was just such a New York experience. So the Jets go out, they score a touchdown. Jets fans are excited, and then Eli goes out, and there's that loyalty to Eli, but that skepticism, and then he does what he does.
It's a quick 3 and out.
Then they start booing him, and they can't, it's like, oh, get this guy out of here. Now here comes the rookie, and it's not Dwayne Haskins, who they should have drafted. And it's this other guy, and now he completes a few balls. Suddenly everybody starts cheering. He scores a touchdown. Now he should be the starter. It's
they had the simulcast, too, of Haskins throwing interceptions and everything.
They broadcast him, And I haven't seen the back pages today, but I'm sure it's,
Well, here you go.
What's it
I got it. Jones brings the Thunder. Giants top pick goes 5-5 with TD pass before storm delays preseason.
All hail Daniel Jones.
There you go. So they didn't like him. He probably couldn't, get a free drink in the city at any point. But now he'll be great until next week when we see whether or not he continues to improve.
One thing, Coach, that I was talking to Nick and Jenna about, and especially as far as evaluating players, you have to be careful when you're an analyst, because if you're going to be fair, a lot of times what you see in college and the evaluation that you make on the player, can the player change your mind? And I like to give the player a clean slate after seeing him in college, seeing how he's drafted. Even if I don't like his draft position, in this system, will this work? I thought Haskins clearly was a better quarterback. The Giants thought other words. So now, if I go throughout his career, I'm on TV, he's playing 15 years with the Giants. I'm never happy with the selection. How will I ever be happy with his ability? So I know you've been evaluating players longer than myself. We evaluated players at another network. It becomes hard to change your opinion of what you thought about a guy on draft day compared to what you see. And that's what people will be facing with Daniel Jones, because your expectations, your disappointment in the beginning. He does not have a big arm. He is not 6'7". He's not a 5-star. He was a 3-star. But he does have the things that you want. He reads the defense very quickly, diagnoses where the ball is going to go. He's got a fairly compact motion. He's got enough arm strength. He knows what he wants to do with it. He is a leader of men. So I'm going to give him a chance. And last night, he was really good. People will think the touchdown pass and be like, wow, he really threaded that in there. No, he threw that into coverage. He was eyeballing the coverage, and it should have been intercepted. But overall, Coach, I'm trying to help people because I know how we can be biased in doing this. And I was disappointed in the Giants. They didn't draft Haskins. But I'm going to give the kid a fair shot. What did you see last night, and especially from that cover two? I know that safety. I know you would have ripped his butt for not picking that ball on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, and look, the drive itself, you heard Pat talk about the fact that in the first play he didn't motion the tight end over. That's a problem. When he forgot to motion the tight end over. So, and people were saying, well, how can you even talk about that? Because it's the quarterback's job to make sure that the formation is correct, to make sure that everybody's in the right spot. And he didn't do that. So that's obviously a thing that he can improve on. But he threw a very catchable ball in college. He did a good job understanding what the defense was, what the looks were. And last night,
he was well coached in college.
He was well coached. And last night he was facing very simple coverages, and he was facing no pass rush. So it's going to get more complex. However, with what he faced, he did a really nice job. And it almost seemed like they set him up, though, because they put Eli out on a move the pocket play in the first play of the game.
Right.
Not his thing. And then they
also kept the starting offensive line in.
They gave him another chance.
That helps.
But then they run the draw on third down. It's like, oh,
you knew it was
God.
coming. Eli gets 3. Eli's drive went like this. First down, they run a move the pocket. They get 3 yards on it. On second down, they lose yards running. And then they're in third and long, and they run the draw play, and Eli's done. Yeah. And you look at it, and I had a Giants buddy say to me last night, if Daniel Jones keeps outplaying Eli, and I'm no Eli Manning fan, but I'm like, Eli threw 1 pass. Like he didn't, and
right.
So, and your point about the touchdown pass I found really interesting because to my eye, when I watched it, I didn't see that what you were talking about with the safety until you showed it repeatedly before the show. Our statistician, Dusty, actually made the point you made before the show. I ignored him because he's him. You made the point. I was like, oh, good point. See,
my football assistant on the staff.
Exactly right. And so that, the previous passes to that, 3 of them were as simple passes as you could make. The first one he made was pretty good. The next 3 were very simple. Guys, boom, boom pass to, I think, quick slant was one of them. And then that one, I did think he put it in the right spot. You mentioned that the safety, if he's doing his job, could have picked it off. But I do want to give him credit because to your point, C, here's what I saw from Daniel Jones. This is a guy who going into the bowl game last year was 5-5 at Duke. You can say, okay, well, it's Duke. It's not his fault. Okay, he had 2,200 yards passing going into the bowl game. He had 17 touchdowns, and he completed 58% of his passes. Now, he had a really good bowl game against Temple to help out his season-long numbers, but there was nothing I saw where it was like, okay, top 10 pick of the draft. I was shocked by it.
I don't think we've ever had a top 10 pick in the passing era that had those numbers.
Well, the only one that's comparable is the guy who went top 10 last year that we didn't understand, and Josh Allen. We're like, wait, honorable mention Mountain West,
okay.
Josh Allen. And so we've had back-to-back years, and what you're saying you want to do for Daniel Jones, I'll be honest, is something I had a lot of trouble doing with Josh Allen. Josh Allen, all of my commentary last year, now I think it was proven out throughout the season until the final game of the regular season was, what were the Bills thinking? What did you see in college? And so I didn't give him the benefit of the doubt. And with Haskins, I liked him so much in college. Maybe this morning I'm giving him more of the benefit of the doubt than I would Daniel Jones if he put up his stat line. I think that's all fair to say and to acknowledge. I also think the Giants are trying to have it both ways to a degree because they are publicly saying how much they love Eli while spending the 6th pick of the draft on a quarterback. While trying to put that young quarterback, talk him up as, oh, I fell in love at first sight. Yeah. Remember, it was all those things, while also saying Eli's our guy. And so Eli's obviously going to be the starter week 1. I don't think necessarily will be the starter the whole year. But Eli, no matter what happens this preseason, they're not going to bend over backwards for Eli the way they have the last few years and just have him replaced before the regular season.
And I wouldn't be shocked if Eli doesn't make it through the whole year. The thing we talked about before is I just believe where the Giants are, they've convinced themselves it's not a conversation. Now, the fans might be having it. You know, people in the media might be having it. But until that organization, and they said that they thought Eli could play multiple years, that 10th pick, man, that speaks, man. We don't expect a 6th pick. We don't expect a pick that's in the top 10 for him to be on the sideline, holding a clipboard, having a hat. We expect him to be out there winning games and trying to help the team win games.
Yeah, you're not drafting a guy that high with the idea that he's going to sit 3 or 4 years. You're thinking you want him to be ready as quickly as possible. And I think the better he plays in the preseason, the shorter leash Eli has going into the year.
Well, what does that look like as quickly as possible?
For him to play as quickly as possible? Well, it is a function of what Eli does. And there's going to be pressure on Pat, and there's going to be pressure on Gettleman. And when you spend a pick as high as he is, ownership is going to say, okay, we've put these resources into this person. The guy we have, Eli, who we love and who we've benched before, we now have a viable candidate. Why don't we push him in quicker rather than sit and wait?
And the point that Nick made earlier, as far as early in the season, is there a window? They're starting the season, the best receiver, Sterling Shepard, hurt. So he's not going to play. Eli could easily get off to a rough start.
Golden Tate suspended, right?
Golden Tate suspended. So
Corey Coleman done the year.
His top 2 guys, man, there could be problems immediately with the Giants, and we know how things go with the Giants. If there is a problem, Eli will get blamed for it.
And also, as far as will he play this year, the last quarterback taken in the first round to not play at all his rookie season was coach's favorite quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Think about how long ago that was, and think about who was in front of Aaron Rodgers. It has been 14 years since someone spent any first-round pick, much less the 6th overall pick, on a quarterback and didn't play him his first year.
All right, Coach, stick around. Take a break. Coming up, Baker Mayfield already off and running. That's next on First Things First.